most consistent pieces within the zombie storyline and the backstory to Black Ops 3 Zombies, though it doesn't necessarily show up in Black Ops 2 and the earlier Zombies games. The Kronorium is a massive piece to the storyline and what we've kind of established as this umbrella that is Call of Duty Zombies. But the Kronorium itself is still something that is a little bit of an oddity. Yes, there is a lot known about it here and there, but the one thing that's always kind of made its way into my mind, what's buried itself deep into my thought process, is just how big is the Kronorium within Zombies. While it's supposedly the largest collection of knowledge and information ever available in the zombie storyline, what does this mean for the depth and the different characteristics about the Kronorium? I want to take a look at and discuss a little bit here of some new information and some old information alike, in which we can take a look at and maybe get a deeper understanding of the Kronorium itself within Black Ops 3 Zombies. So starting simple, the Kronorium we were first introduced was once again this book that contained all information for all universes, and everything that you could ever imagine is found within the Kronorium. It's something that is that one-stop shop for everything you need to know. But some of the more recent information that we've gotten in the past, say, month and a half or so leading up to this gives a little bit more of an understanding and a little bit more of an intricate detailing of just how deep this actually goes with the storyline implications. And one thing that you might have noticed coming out of the canon storyline image, that entire timeline that Jason Blundell gave out and that Treyarch officially posted on their website right after the announcement of Zombies Chronicles, in the bottom right corner just below the Dimension 63 timeline, you'll end up seeing something written on this page in which it says excerpt 1,816,823,123,016, which of course is an absolute massive number, but when you think about what this actually refers to, it puts that into a whole new perspective. Excerpt over 1 trillion of the Kronorium, meaning there is 1 trillion more and perhaps even more following after, that this page is maybe somewhere in the middle, which once again adds that whole depth process to the Kronorium and gives us a lot more of an understanding of how much there actually is compared to, say, maybe the 400, 500 pages that we thought were there previously. This goes on to be a lot more. Truly an absolute black hole of information and knowledge in terms of it is truly a never-ending book. So plain and simple, that entire storyline image, that canon storyline itself that detailed from the beginning of where we know Zombies to where we see it end up in Black Ops 3, that entirety is one lone page in the Kronorium. So, as for what else there could be, who knows? That is seriously up to our wildest imaginations at that point. But one thing also that was recently detailed in terms of an interview with Jason Blundell is that Blundell himself said that this is not the only version of the Kronorium, meaning that there are different alterations and different variations of the book that we're so intrigued with at the very moment, that has this much depth to it, that there is multiple versions. So, how do we access this? Well, it changes depending on whoever is reading the Kronorium. We know that Richtofen signs the Kronorium, or at least this storyline page, in which he signs, "I know now what I must do, ER 4741. So April 7th, 1941. All of what we know of with the Kronorium up to this point in time has been because of Richtofen's perspective, his point of view, and what the Kronorium wants to show him instead of what it might want to show somebody else. So while there are these trillions of different excerpts, these trillions of different pages, and a massive plethora of information to be had at any point in time in any dimension across all of time, what we see is only what the Kronorium wills to show Richtofen. And so that begs the question, perhaps there is a lot more that may be revealed if this storyline ends up continuing into the proverbial Black Ops 4. That being perhaps maybe Monty or the Shadow Man get a hold of the Kronorium. And in that case, perhaps it alters everything we know at this point because, well, it's not the perspective of Richtofen. And thus this leads then into the question that maybe everything that we know of to this point has just been a twisting of the reality due to the perspective that is being told via Richtofen and what we know of in the Kronorium at the moment. So I guess that really leads then into what the next title could do and offers a lot in terms of a lot of different mental curveballs and different mind games that Treyarch could play here with us. But as for the Kronorium itself, it just shows just how deep and how vast the Kronorium really is. Because while it was, of course, touted to be this all-powerful entity in terms of knowledge and everything that we've ever needed to know is found in the Kronorium. It certainly is such, and of course, offers perhaps various different sides of the story depending on who ends up yielding it. So moving forward, I think it's going to be very intriguing to see how the Kronorium plays into the storyline overall and what else we can see unfold here as not only our storyline continues, but as more information comes out in the future about the Kronorium itself. Right now, I'm not expecting too much more on the Kronorium at this point, and truthfully, with the recent interviews with Jason Blundell and him dropping some information out of the blue on the Kronorium, that to me is super intriguing and of course something that I was not personally expecting, simply because while Zombies Chronicles has come out, we're about halfway to the next Treyarch game, which is incredibly cool to think about if you are a Zombies fan. So with that said, maybe we'll get some hints here and there and some more backstory and information on the Kronorium, but as for right now, just take into consideration the fact that this is over 1 trillion pages long at least, with more than likely a lot more on top of that, and that it ends up changing for every single person that ends up reading it. And if you want to put it into perspective even further, the entirety of the zombie storyline is one single excerpt, maybe 1 page, perhaps even less, of the Kronorium in its entirety. So keep that in mind and do with it what you will, but the Kronorium is absolutely massive, and I'm super excited to get some more information here in the near future, or perhaps distant future, with the next Treyarch title and installment of Zombies, to see more information on this and to complete maybe the backstory and give us our next chapter. But all that said and out of the way, I want to get your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Are you guys absolutely blown away by how deep this goes and how much this has to do with it, with something that we've previously known about, but perhaps maybe not in such detail? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to stay up to date with everything we have here regarding Zombies Chronicles, zombies in general, Black Ops 3 multiplayer, Call of Duty World War II, Modern Warfare Mastered, all that good stuff. We got you covered here up on the channel. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected with me outside of YouTube. I practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. But all that said and out of the way, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. My name is Nikolai Espresso. Take care and peace.